Hello, we live. How you
Yes,
doing today? How you doing today, Gina?
I am wonderful. How are you, Nathaniel?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Doing great.
Good, good, good.
Yeah, so today our topic is, before we get into everything, is leadership move mountains. Just let that resonate with people for a little while, before we get into what we have to get into. And we see, y'all hear the music, right?
Yes, it's not too loud, is it?
Nah, it's actually perfect.
Okay, great.
That's a great vibration. Actually, allow you to refocus from within, which I think is a really good concept for leaders to be able to refocus from within because there's so
Yes,
much going on. So we
yes,
just take a moment of our time, and just take a new energy, take a new purpose, gather ourselves to different places of awareness, take ourselves to different spaces like on mountaintops and by the sea or listen to clashing water, just to bring ourselves into a new awareness because without it, we're not going to be able to move forward.
that's right. Thank you. That was
Perfect.
beautiful.
I don't know what happened to that. Okay, got you. Yeah, so today's topic, we're talking about leadership move mountains. And my question to Gina off the gate is basically like you know, what mountains do we supposed to move or are we looking to move as leaders? Like what is that like, to move mountains in your life, you know?
Okay, and great question. And I'm going to introduce myself to the audience for anyone that may not know me. I am Jeannie Muhammad, your global happiness expert. And first of all, I want to thank you, Nathaniel, for providing this wonderful platform for us to be able to speak about
That's right.
leadership. And I am very grateful to you because you are an easy person to be around. You are. You don't vex my spirit. And I really appreciate that. So I look
Awesome.
forward to being in your company at all times. So that's really important, I feel, whenever two people are striving to do what you and I are striving to do. It's important that as leaders that we enjoy each other's company and that we can expand each other's horizon. And this is what I find with you. You help to expand my horizon. You help to expand
Mm.
my the things that I am endeavoring to do, and I pray that I do the same for you. So, with that all being said, let's get to this momentous subject that you have chosen for us today.
Yeah.
And you asked me the question, what mountains do we as leaders uh, have to move or should move in order to be the best leaders that we can be? I'm
That's right.
paraphrasing what you said,
Yeah, that's
but
exactly what I said. Yeah.
one of those mountains that I have several that I have listed, but to me, the biggest one is our egos.
Mm.
We have to move our egos out of the way to be good leaders. And I'm going to give you all of those, and then we can come back and discuss each one individually if you would like. If you
That's right.
find, that's what you
Yeah.
would like to do. I know you have other questions because you always have questions. That's one of the great things about you, Nathaniel. You always have questions, and
Yeah,
so
definitely.
you have a person thinking at all times, and that's great.
That's right.
Okay, and another thing I feel that we as leaders should, a mountain that we have to remove is envy and jealousy, you know, and we should remove pride. That's a big mountain. Pride, inordinate pride.
Hmm.
It's good to have pride in what you do, and it's good to be always wanting to do your best and put your best out there, but sometimes we let pride stand in our way of our growth and helping others to elevate and inspire others. And another mountain I feel is greed.
Hmm.
Sometimes we as leaders are so greedy that we don't want to share what we have because we want more, 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 more of everything without taking into other people into account. So that's just a few of the things that I thought about,
Hmm.
Nathaniel, when it talks about the mountains that we as leaders should move. So and how we do, and so that's the problems. And so I would like to, for us to discuss how we as leaders can move these mountains.
That's awesome. Because asking that question, you never know what's the answer going to be. It all depends on the individual that's in front of you and what actually resonates with them. Their profoundness as actually being leaders and what they look, to be leaders as. What's that hourglass for their
Mhm.
leadership? Is it a
Right,
long term? Is it short term? Is it to get a certain thing? Is it to save your life? Because you got leaders that will do things just because their lives are in peril,
right,
not because they actually believe in an issue and maybe say, what can I do that would change my life,
right.
right? Does that mean actually that you actually set out to be this leader that everybody basically pegged you for,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I was on a movement one time and the guy said, I picked this project because I was working on a block and I saw what they was doing and I was like, what could I do that's going to increase capital for me in my community?
Right.
So he responded to that and opened up this great big platform, had hundreds of thousands of people on his platform, only under the pretense that he needed to do something to save his life and to create a new quiet life for himself and for his family. Not because he actually really believed in the issue. He don't really have to believe in the issue. So I think that that's a great point. We're looking at the ego and leadership. The ego and leadership, what I would say, doesn't really have a place in our lives. It gives us substance, it gives us that audacity that we need to actually push forward,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not the basis for changing lives
Right.
because your ego is so become so strong that you'll push other entities and other leaders or other forces that's come into your space out of the way. You start shutting doors when you start saying that leaders need to move greed out of their path. This is like one of the mountains that they need to move is actually greed of being self-centered and being selfish in their own developments, but not looking at the developments of others, right? And that's really, really profound that you have to tap into that and see like how is this leadership, this component that I'm using for leadership is going to basically harm me in the long run.
Right. Right.
And one of the things I want to say before I pose my next question is that when you move as greed, when your presence for moving is greed in your leadership, understand this. When you go back for those same individuals that was helping you on those platforms to move you on a different platform, you're going to hear complete
Mm.
silence.
Wow. Wow.
You got to
That's
be
true.
careful what you exchange for leadership and what you exchange for growth.
That's
You got to be aware that when you exchange people for greed, right? You got to
right.
think about that because now when you need that substance to come back, like when you say, what, I can depend on this person, I can depend on this person, I can depend on this organization.
Mm.
When you go back to them, they're gonna be like, nah, man, nah, you did me wrong.
Right.
You didn't bring me to the platform. You ain't let me run wild like the wolves. I always say that when I go to interviews. I used to go to interviews. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want, Nathaniel? What do you need for us to move forward in this relationship? I
Mm-hmm.
need you to clip whatever change you got attached to me, and allow me to do what I do. Allow me to run,
Mm.
man. I want to run with the wolves, man.
That's
I want
right.
to be free. right? I don't want nobody locking me into no type of
You
chains.
want the freedom to live.
I want the freedom of living. I want the freedom that I had with that brought me to the organization. I want that same freedom to be
Yes,
increased and to be magnified because
right,
I brought my leadership to your organization. I brought my
right,
leadership to your platform. Who
right.
cares if you don't think I'm a finished product? You might not be a finished product either.
That's right.
You still in the works, but you want me to be perfect. You want me to be perfect, but you're still working on where you have to work on. You still
And
trying to build certain things in your life.
right, right. And that's why what we're talking about these mountains that leadership has to have. See, if you are not uh about inspiring, empowering, and elevating those that you are leading, you know, and seeing the potential in them and helping them to grow, then can you say that you're an effective and a great leader?
Yeah, because you want to be free, right? So you want to be free to go wherever you want to go. If you want to go to the movies, you want to go to the gym, or you want to travel all around the world, you want to be free to do that as a leader. But the other leaders around you, they're not free to do that.
That's right. And see, and I love this comment by Denise. Let's see, what does that say?
What
I read
Denise
it.
says,
Wants everyone who's connected to them to elevate.
yeah, real
Great
leaders
point,
want
Denise.
everybody to elevate. These are one of the substance of the mountains that we have to move is those that connect to us to move and create new mountains, right? So
Yes,
it's kind of like you see a builder, you see a flat platform, and you see men coming there, and they coming there to build this platform. They're gonna create a 10-story building, a 30-story building, a 50-story, regardless of what story building they come in. They come to this platform is a clean slate, right?
right.
And they coming in with visions, experiences, purposes, right? To build. You never see someone building a building from from going downward.
That's right. Great point.
There's no buildings that's being built downward. Every building is being built upward. So every brick is its own leader.
Go ahead. Because if that brick is not there, what's going to happen to that building?
It's going to tumble and fall.
It's not going to be balanced. It's not going
That's
to be
right.
balanced. And
Yeah, because
so, great point.
yeah, because a couple like last year they had some condos that kept falling, right? And a lot of people lost their lives in those condos because the builders did not build a condo the right way. They didn't put the right metal in here. They didn't put the right insertion in here, right? They didn't use the right material for this plane or for that plane. And people wound up losing their lives, right?
Right,
We got
right.
Denise talking about the cornerstone, right? Leadership is a cornerstone, Denise. It's one of the greatest cornerstones in the world. Why is that? Why is that a fact? Because every day we worship in leadership. We put leadership on traffic stop signs, right? On corners. We put leadership in parks as statues and monuments and testimonies. We even worshiping other men and women in certain religions as being the Messiah and all these different things. We're using leadership, you know what I'm saying, as a cornerstone for our lives.
And Nathaniel, this is a great point that uh, Denise is making, because sometimes we forget what a cornerstone is. And
What is
let's
that?
look.
What is
Yes,
it? What is a cornerstone?
I'm gonna look up the exact definition of a cornerstone, because that is so important for
Mm,
any great leader, and even for us as uh, just in our own lives, to understand that we are, the greatest leaders that we will ever come across is our own leadership, ourself. That's one thing you always emphasize, Nathaniel, is about self, beginning with self. So
Beginning
let's
with
look
self.
at what it means to be a cornerstone. A cornerstone is an important quality or feature on which a particular thing depends or is based.
Mm.
That's as the noun. A stone that forms the base of a corner of a building, joining two walls. So that is what that forms the base. The base.
Now, what's give it to us in layman terms?
Okay, that means coming down to layman terms. That is essential. The base is the root. The base is the, you cannot even go beyond anything else if you do not have a firm foundation. And the cornerstone is what builds that firm foundation.
That's correct. That's
And
correct. And
so,
that's what we see as cornerstones. When we see that cornerstones, we're not talking about actual cornerstones, guys. We're not actually talking about a physical brick, right?
yes,
This is metaphysical in nature, right? There's no
right,
brick here, right? We're talking about fluency of leadership and cornerstones. And who created those cornerstones? We got people at Christ created cornerstones when they selected certain men as being disciples. We got men as Muhammad that created cornerstones when he found certain men to be disciples. Elijah Muhammad, we have Martin Luther King that created cornerstone. Those cornerstones that Martin Luther King created, they still standing today. Those men are still in prominent positions. Those women are still in prominent positions, still making political moves and
right,
adjustments for the lives of us right here, right now. Even though we might
right.
not see all the politics and procedures they got to go through to get us afloat, but they're actually creating new lives, and they're protecting new lives before new lives come into the land. A cornerstone is actually you as an individual.
Yes. Make it plain. Make it plain. That's
Yeah,
right. That's
you
right.
are the cornerstone. You can't look for another cornerstone. You are the cornerstone. There is no other cornerstone, you know what I'm saying, to consider, right? When you go and you build this building, right, you got to build this building with the proper tools, resources, and love, right?
Oh, you know what, Nathaniel? I put that word down when I was thinking about the how leadership moves mountains, and I put the word love down because, and you know, I talk about this all the time as far as how we as individuals, it starts with self. It starts with that love we have for self. If we don't love ourselves as individuals and we don't see the value in ourselves, we will not see that value in the people that we are coming in contact with, that we are leading. It
Yeah, how
starts
about
with that
that?
love, that love
How,
of self. That is the
yeah,
highest vibrational level that we can be on. And once we achieve that level and we constantly stay on that frequency, you know,
that frequency, see, frequency, a very, very key component when you're looking at leadership. What does
right.
that frequency looks like? What is that vibration that's going to move through the land, that's going to touch this spirit and touch that spirit and touch that soul and curve this, you know what I mean, and shifting into new directions,
Yes,
right? That frequency, like right now, you got people living in monuments or buildings that was created 200 years ago, right?
right.
All those individuals that created those buildings 200 years ago, they are no longer here.
Okay, go ahead.
But those buildings are still standing, and those buildings are still preserving life. It's
Yes,
still preserving shelter. Love is happening in those buildings. Children are actually being created in those buildings. Marriages are actually being developed. There's other things that's actually taking place too, but we're looking at the positive things that takes place from building cornerstones. A cornerstone is a positivity thing until somebody comes and breaks it.
right, right. And look at this when we're talking about. Leadership moves mountains. When we look at where we are today in today's society and the chaos that we see in today's society, all the problems that are around us today, you see all the negativity. You see all of, but I understand that there is a movement, Nathaniel. There is a movement of people that understand that love moves mountains.
Hmm.
Faith
Mm.
moves mountains.
Yeah, love and
Unity,
faith move,
unity moves
moves mountains,
mountains.
right? And mountains are to be moved. They're not to be locked into place. People don't realize it. When you create a structure, it's not to stay as a permanency. It's to shift. New spirits and new energies have to be able to occupy that mountain and come into that mountain when you're no longer here because it has nothing to do with you. You think that whatever you built belongs to you. You think that you're supposed to rule over it and dominate it throughout your whole life until your last breath. You're going to put it in your will and you're going to pass it on to different people. Listen, what you created doesn't belong to you. Just like those mountains the Most High created for us don't belong to us. But He allowed us to go there and occupy those mountains, to climb up those mountains and make millions of dollars as a person that climbed up Mount Rushmore, all different things like that. He created these things for our pleasure and for also our sight because it's so beautiful when you see it from afar.
But it don't belong to us.
It don't belong to us. We just occupying it. We like little ants on there when you look from afar. It's like, what are little ants doing on that mountain? Right? You see your greatness and be on that mountain because you're there. But those that look from afar, do they see your greatness? Do they
Right.
really see who you are and what your purpose is of actually being on that mountain? Are you there to chip away the mountain and try to find gold and silver for yourself and put it in your pocket? Are you actually there to cultivate that mountain and to patch up holes that you actually saw that was in that mountain so no one else could actually fall and trip up that mountain like those previously were actually brought you to that mountain in the first place to patch up those
Mhm.
holes, to bring about that awareness? You actually think by leaving the mountain to pursue something else is going to make the purpose for you greater?
Okay, Nathaniel, and that's where a passion for something comes in. You know, as leaders, what is our passion for what we're doing? You know, you were speaking earlier about leaders that are in doing certain things maybe in the community, but do they have a passion for what they're doing? You know, and without passion, I'm going to ask you a question now. Without passion for what you're doing, do you think that you can move mountains that will appear in your path when they appear if you do not have a passion for that?
It's like a double standard question because in my path, I done ran across leaders that have been in keynote positions that weren't connected to the passion of the movement, which means they never experienced what that movement was about. They don't know nothing about that movement. They just was placed there as a pawn or placed there because they have a certain look or they have a certain clout or they have money. And they
That's
basically
hmm
deterred the whole spirit of the movement, right? And then
hmm
people that have done the work are not on the forefronts to do the work. They actually sitting back and watching those that are less passionate because they never experienced it actually be the face of those movements. But when you actually look at it, when you actually look at it in a spiritual sense, in a metaphysical sense, it basically states that that movement within that person is going to die out as soon as it's not associated to the materialistic and tangible things that they were seeking to get in that position in the first place.
okay. Okay, so you're saying, so your answer would it be that without the passion for whatever the leader is striving to uh, have his followers become involved in, without that passion, that leader will not truly be able to inspire that in others. If they don't have the passion, how can
It's
they
not gonna.
inspire it in others?
They're not gonna be able to transfer it over, right? You can see, like, if you go to job interviews and stuff like that, and you speak from a spiritual place, or you speak from a metaphysical space, or you speak from a place of love, a lot of times you don't get those jobs
Mm-hmm.
because they feel as if you're not here to do their work, not the work, but
Yes,
their work.
right.
See, you got to realize that people want you to do their work, not the work that you came to do, but their work, right? They need people that's going to be able to do their orders for them, bring in new money for them, create new relationships for them, but not build lives, not change lives, and not alter lives to the point where you can't tell the difference between this man and you within 1 year. You jump out your BMW, he jumps out his BMW. You go put a key in your house, he go put a key in his house. You had a function to buy a house, he's at the same function. Do you want that for the individual that you say you're leading, that you're bringing to a different magnitude? Or do you want to make sure that you always stay on top of those individuals so you can egotistically determine yourself to be a leader?
Right. And see, and just Denise, just be puppets. See, that's what a lot of this business society,
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
society
Society,
wants us to be puppets.
puppet masters.
Yes, and if you are not a puppet, that's why, and say this term all the time. People will say she's the black sheep or he's the black
Mm,
sheep. And why is that? It's
yeah.
because you are not going along with whatever is put in front of you without questioning it and just following whatever is told to you. You're just like a little puppet, like
Mm-hmm.
Denise said, you're just a little puppet. Someone is pulling your strings and you're just dancing to their tune. And when you go to these jobs, that's exactly what they want you to do. They don't want you to think for yourself. They don't want you to, because when you start talking about coming out of a love mentality, they like, what's love got to do with it?
Do with this. Yeah, what love has to do with it? What love has to do with building a substance abuse organization? What love has to do with building a reentry organization? What love has to do with building a domestic violence organization, right? What love has to do with building a financial foundation?
Yeah, they see
Everything,
the money, but
every
they all
every single
it has,
thing,
yes,
every
love.
single thing, because none of these things can be built without the first constitution of love. When if love is not the premise for any things, the Most High will not even allow you to build them.
And really help people.
And
And because most of these institutions, when they build like these shelters and these for drug abuse and domestic violence, it's a money thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The
It's a
essential
money thing.
person, majority of the times, 9 times out of 10 statistically, the person that essentially built it from scratch, built it from a place of reference, built it from a place of compassion and empathy, because they experienced the same similarities and they didn't want no one else to experience that thing. It's like somebody going to a political campaign. They come in that place with empathy, power, and love and motivation. You know what I'm saying? To make things right. That's what they come there for. Once they get into these positions, a lot of time, who they are becomes watered down because now they caught up with all type of policies, procedures, and legislations. And
And you
then
know what? Yes, when Nathaniel, when I decided that I wanted my thing is to be an advocate for women, to be an advocate against all challenges that face women, women especially, but men also, because I have a soft spot in my heart for men. And and but I want to empower and inspire women to be able to heal themselves from whatever challenges that they may have faced in life and they have lost themselves. And I want them to be able to heal from within. Now, when I formed my business, Freedom to Live, I debated on whether I wanted it to be an LLC or a nonprofit. I decided LLC because I don't want to be a nonprofit and be applying for grants and all this other things that people can use to uh, manipulate what you're doing because they're giving you some money.
That's right.
I wanted to be in totally independent so I can really uh, be, and where I see that I can help, I want it to be coming out of my spirit of love.
But why would you do that? Why would you take the time out to actually do that as a leader? What do you get out of it?
I get soul satisfaction. I know that I am a representative of the Most High. I know that uh, I am, when someone see me, I want them to see the purity of the love that the Most High has for his smallest creature.
Hmm.
And I want to be free to do that. I want to be free to uh, be an example to other people that and by using what I have gone through, the pains that I have suffered, I want to be that example of someone coming up out of that pain by the power of love.
Hmm. And it's a fact, man. When you coming from the power of love, that love resonates within you because that same love is what actually created you.
Yes,
See, we have to tap back into that same source, of what created us, and now turn around and now we create others that's like us, not for our pleasure, for the
that's
pleasure
right.
of life itself, but for the pleasure of glory itself. Because you could come down here and have all the glory you want to, but when it's time for you to transition, are you afraid, right? Are you saying, "Wow, man, did I mess up down here? Did I not apply myself the right way? Did I not help the right people or the right amount of people?" Right? Because that's when it matters. You can sit down here and please all these people that you want to, and you can try to make all these people important for your journey, right? But at the end of the day, these people that you're trying to please, none of these people created you.
That's right. Oh, Nathaniel, say it again. Say that again.
All these people that you're trying to please in this land, none of these people have created you.
That's right. And see, and that is because I, at one time, was a people pleaser. I, at one time, had no peace in my life because I was trying to please this one over here, this one over there, that one over there. And when you are striving to please everyone in your life, who ends up being pleased? No one. Because you can never, ever please everyone in your life. So, no one, including you, you're not pleased. And
Yeah,
you're always in turmoil. You're always diseased because you're displeased.
that's why you're displeased. You can't take out peas out your pocket like you can take money out, right? Right? You can't hold on to it. You can't manipulate, please. You know what I'm saying? You can't manipulate that. You know, you can't hand it out like a dollar bill or you hand out a car, right?
Yes.
People don't remember that pleasure that you was trying to give in their lives. They don't remember
No.
the substance that you was actually trying to provide them. They don't remember that utilitarian aspect that you came to them with and how you wanted to just help them just because. And eventually they'll turn your pleasure and pleasing them into a tangible thing and
Yes.
try to make
So,
it seem like
yes.
you only came there for this or you only came there for that. But they know why you came there because you match their energy and their energy match yours. But as soon as certain things start coming into place, the tangible things now become a tangible object for you. I'm no longer intangible, right? I get
Right.
defined by something that society has created on their own and then placed me in this nice little convenient box just so it can
Right.
try to categorize me and not allow me to get to my true potential, not within me, but within themselves as well.
Right. Right. And that's where I think a lot of that mountain we were talking about, envy and jealousy. Oh, Denise, be your authentic self.
There's nothing else you can do.
Ooh, say it, say it, say it. Once I decided that I only wanted to please my creator, once I decided that that was my I just want to be able to plug into that source. Once I did that, I was free to be my authentic self because I don't really, I mean, I care what people think, but I don't really, you know, you care what somebody think, but not really, in that it's not going to throw you off what you know your purpose is. It's not going to throw you off what you know you are here to do. You're not going to be thrown off by whether they like it or not. If they like it, great. But if not,
That's great too.
that's great too.
That's right, because I'm not the controller of others. I can't tell you how to think, believe, behave. I can't show you or tell you how to channel your life and to bring your life to a new purpose or a true purpose. That's not for me to do. If that was for me to do, that mean I'd be your God.
That's
And
right.
why would I want to be your God? Well, for what? That's a lot of work. The most I got a lot of work. I don't want that. I don't want this work here, right? You got a lot of things going on, man. You got to sort through all the different riffs and roughs and stuff like that. He got to get to the true purposes. Is this the situation? He said, I don't look at your ways. I basically analyze the heart. I can't analyze no man heart.
That's right.
I'm not a heart analyzer. Like, I'm not here to show what your true purpose is. If the world beats me down, let's say I come to you with true strength and true power, and the world beat me down. Do you say that my heart changed because the world beat me down on a physiological level, or because it beat me down on a financial level? Are you trying to say that my heart is no longer the same heart that I came to you with? How do you know that my heart wasn't? How you know that these things wasn't affecting me to make sure my heart becomes more pure? How do you know that these things wasn't move out the way? So because I was attaching myself to them, and the Most High chastised me by moving them out my way, so I could be of a higher purpose. You
Mhm.
can't read my heart. Only the Most High can read my heart. You got to
Right.
understand that we have to give each other room to breathe and to find ourselves in new spaces instead of trying to categorize each other and judge each other because we might have overcome a situation or because we never experienced that situation ourselves.
Right. And see, and you use that beautiful word judge, because that's another mountain that we as leaders should move, is being
As
judgmental of each other. Because I don't know your intentions. I can I don't know your motivation when you I don't know that. And you said and Nathaniel, when you said that the Most High has an awesome job and he does a beautiful job of it. So I'm gonna stay in my lane. I'm gonna stay in my lane.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Until he tell me to stop the water, when until he tell me to stop it from raining, or until he tell me to make food out of rocks and stuff like that, I gotta chill out. When he come and tell me I can start doing all those different things, then I can start doing all those different things. I'm not gonna take it upon myself that say, listen, this rock, I'm hungry, I'm gonna turn this into a cheeseburger and start biting on it. No, 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 no. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna want to have a no teeth at all, right? So I can't do that, right? I have to stay in my place. And leaders, we forget about that moving force, right? That water of life that Christ talked about, right? And bringing new energy and new substance into the world of others,
Yes.
right? That
Yes.
that flowing water, that water that creates everlasting life, right? You don't
Right.
have no water. You don't have no water to give nobody no everlasting life unless you
Oh,
come in from the power
yes.
of the Most High. If you're not coming from the power of the Most High, you're not coming from a place of love and compassion and charity. There is no water you're providing for life.
Right.
You can get as
Right.
much money you want to. You can buy as many gifts. You can buy a woman roses every day and say that you love her, and every day the roses are going to die as soon as you give it to her. That doesn't mean that you love the person because you came in every day and was giving out roses, or because you was giving out
Oh,
gifts,
yes.
right?
Yes.
You might have
Yes.
stole those gifts. You might have stole those gifts. I watch a movie on a serial killer. He killed women and give his wife all the trinkets. He said, "Oh my God, this bracelet is so good. I love these earrings."
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
But this is a true fact. These are things that men and women have done in the land. They have taken things from other
Yes.
people and given to other people as a gift.
Wow. That is true.
That's true. That's a statistical fact that these things have happened and they will continue to happen, right? We have to
Right.
remove ourselves from gifts because gifts do not constitute love. You can give
And
as many
see,
gifts as you want to.
Denise, you said it. Love is action. That's right. Love is action. A person can say, I love you. A person can do all of that. They can give you all kind of material things, all kind of bling bling. But when the action, and this is what I see, it is the action is those things of elevation, inspiration. Does someone inspire you to be a better person,
Mm,
a better
mm.
person than you are now? Do they empower you to be better? Yeah, you can bring me flowers. You can give me all the flowers every day, all day.
You didn't
But
make them.
and what is your motivation for giving me these flowers? Are they to inspire me? Are they to elevate me? Or are they like like
A pacifier.
yes, or yeah. Wait a minute, you
Son,
have
you get
gone
to a
out. Wait a
son, you
minute,
get you can't hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, it's time you get to a baby when they start crying. You take this pacifier right here, right? Forget about your worries. Right? I know you're hungry, but suck on this pacifier for a little while until I make this food for you, right? This is what you're throwing out there, right?
Right,
And to show us that don't get caught up in these things because these things will stop you from growing. It will stop you from developing your
right,
mountaintop, from getting to your mountaintop, right? I
right.
always say this, even for me, studying scriptures or even me dealing with different men and different women. Are we not coming from a place of love? I don't care what scripture you know.
That's true.
I don't care what scripture you pull from the Bible, the Quran, the Hindu text, Buddhism. I don't care. I don't care. If you're not coming from a place of love, I don't want none of it.
Right.
Keep it to yourself, man. I don't
Right.
want none of it, right? Because what you're doing is that you're going to move me out of my place because I attach myself to you in love, and love is not the essence of why you actually came into my space.
That's right. That's right. And that is why so many leaders cannot help other people or inspire other people to move these mountains in their lives because they want to be, and we were talking about this earlier, they want to be the top dog. You know, they don't want to share that power. They don't want to share all the good things that come into that space. They want to portion a little bit off to you, maybe just enough, like Denise said, a temporary fix, just a temporary fix.
However, and I mean to cut you off, however, they want 6 men to carry their coffin when they
Yeah.
die.
Yes.
Right? They
Yes.
want those men to be available to carry their coffin when it's time for them to move on. They want that honor and that respect that
Right.
they themselves chose not to give while they was here. Right? The
Right.
Most High says this all the time. I am not a respecter of persons.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Right?
yes.
So when you start trying to start these things like Denise says, the big I's and the little U's, when you start this little process for yourself as a leader, remember one day you're gonna be that little you.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And
Right. That's right.
because
Because I'm sorry.
no, go
You know what?
ahead. Keep it
No,
moving.
Nathaniel, this is why I just love
Keep it
talking to
moving.
you.
Keep it moving. Say what you
When
gotta
you said
say.
that earlier about the burning bridges, you know how you just step on people, you're moving up the ladder,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
moving up the ladder,
yeah,
and you
yeah,
stepping on all these people as you move up,
yeah.
burning bridges.
Burning bridges.
Now, when you fall, and when you fall, you're going to meet those same people and you're going to say, could you throw me a lifeline?
That's right. That's correct. That's right.
And that person may say, well, you took all of my lifelines.
I don't got no more. I ain't got no more lifeline for you. You took it and you gave it to somebody else. You ran away with it. Right? That's one of the things I seen when I was in Department of Corrections, when I was doing that time. They was coming to me to create all type of programs and workshops and come and take all my intellectual information. And I'll say, listen, anything I have does not belong to you. It belongs to those that I was sent here for. I'm here for a reason. It's not for you because you're not giving out life. You're taking life.
Right.
You're taking what I got. You creating programs for it. You send it all around the world. You getting raises and promotions and things of that nature. But I'm not getting promotion. I'm not getting any
Right.
raises.
How much
I'm
did
not
they pay you? How much did they pay you an hour?
6 cents, 60 cents, something weird stuff like that. It's so low that you won't even want to remember it because it's a violation against your person, against your being. So people in these spaces like this that are supposed to go into a place of love, to bring forth love and create new mountaintops that change the course of life and to change the course of history, choose not to do so because they own a little use in their lives. The little use is paying their light bill, their gas bill, their phone bill, their cable bill, trying to buy men and women, you know what I'm saying, trying to master and dominate their children and their inner circles.
Yes.
They just had a whole thing about Shaquille O'Neal. He lost his whole wife. And why did he lose his wife? Because he tried to dominate her whole existence. Trying to tell her when she can go to the store, when she can't go to the store, what time you go to the bathroom, what time to eat steak, and what time to eat chicken, and all type of other weird things that he was doing. He wound up losing his wife as a result of that. And she moved on and married somebody else that's going to allow her to live freely as a being.
Yes.
Denise
Yes.
said it earlier, be free, freely as a being. She left him for no other reason other than the fact that he would not allow her to be free.
Isn't there a saying? I see that if you love someone, let them go. If you
And then
love
come back.
someone, and
Yeah.
they'll come back.
If it's real, it'll come back to you. If
Yeah.
it's not, they keep it
Don't try
moving.
to hold. Just
Don't try to
hold.
hold on to it. If you try to hold on to the canary, it's gonna wind up dying.
Gonna choke
It's,
it to death.
it's gonna suffocate itself because it's trying to break free.
Yes.
It's gonna make itself more constricted in your hand because it needs to break free because it was born to be free. It was born to break free. That's why I want to break free.
That's why with my business Freedom to Live, I say freedom to live is a birthright. It's a birthright. No
Give
one
it to
has, yes, given to us by the creator.
all of us, not just you,
All
all
of
of
us.
us, every last one of us. Right? There's a scripture in the Bible. It says this is amazing. It said in the last days, right? When you go before the Most High, He said you ain't got to say nothing. Your hands gonna testify against you. Your feet gonna testify against you.
Wait a minute. I can just see this picture. You standing there. You don't have to say anything. And the Most High
Yo,
saying, your hands say you're
say,
guilty. Your
your
feet
eyes,
say,
your mouth, your ears gonna start talking. I thought they only supposed to listen. They gonna start talking too. Like, don't destroy me. It was him. He did all these different things. Let me be free. Let these ears go to another being so I can keep living. I don't want to die with a pair of ears, bro. Right? I want to keep living. It's just that simple. Every
yes,
element of who we are or what we are, what comprises us, is a life force.
yes,
Our hands, our feet, our mouths, our eyes, our nose, our ears, everything about us, from the head to the toe, is a life force. It's here
yes,
to live as freely as you are.
yes,
It,
yes,
it does not want to be constricted, and it does not want to go into dark, unfamiliar places.
yes, yes. And so that's why, as a leader, moving mountains, we should know ourselves and what we desire for ourselves. If I desire freedom, if I desire love, if I desire compassion, if I desire not to be judged, if I desire to be shown humility, if I desire all of these things in my life, then I, as a leader, should want those same things for you,
I,
Nathaniel.
I gotta change it. If I as a leader must
Must
must want those same things
things
for
for you.
you as
I
a leader,
agree. I
right?
agree.
Because those things are mountains that was built inside of you. They were
Yes.
given to you as a gift for who you are and what you are and for what things you have done in life, right?
Yes.
You might have
Yes.
showed somebody compassion and mercy. So the Most High makes sure He always show you compassion and mercy, right? You might have shown love to others. So the Most High increases you with love inside you to give you more than your fair
Oh,
share
oh.
so you can pass on that. You got more than what you can handle. It don't all
Yes.
belong to you. He gave you into an abundance. He gave you money in abundance. You know what I'm saying? He gave you life in abundance, love. He even gave you laughter in abundance, right?
Yes.
So you can pass it on. So when you pass it
Happiness
on
in abundance.
in abundance, that's why you're the happiness coach, right? Happiness
Yes.
in abundance, right? He gave you that. Don't ever come and say the Most High never did nothing for me, right? I did
Right.
this on my own. I don't owe nobody nothing. This is my path, right? but you were standing one day in the rain and somebody saw that you was full of sorrow
Oh,
and they came to
oh,
you and they gave
yes.
you a hug and a kiss
Eh,
and said, "Sister, it's gonna be all right. Don't even worry about it."
Nathaniel, that is actually what set me on a path of coming up out of the degradation
And I
that
didn't know
I was
that.
in. I was in the rain. I was in the see, I'm tearing up here, Nathaniel. I was in the rain, in the cold, without a coat, without just in the elements freezing. An angel came to me, sent by the Most High, and said, "Let me scoop you up out of this."
Leadership move mountains. The angel, you talk about the angel, they are mountains, man. They come in the land and they move you around and they do some amazing things for your life to increase you, never to decrease you. If you go into spaces and you go into an elements of leadership and you go there with a decreasing spirit, you go in there with a judgmental spirit, you go in there with a spirit of wrath, right? You take away the gifts that was given to you that brought you into that space in the first place.
Amen, amen, amen.
Amen. Right? Because our leadership is a testimony for the lives that we have to live, the lives that we want to live. When we
Yes,
move on to a new plane, don't ever get misconstrued, whether you may say you're an atheist or not, whether you believe in the Most High or not. Don't never get misconstrued that you don't have a higher purpose than what you are now.
right,
Don't never take on a notion that you are locked into this place right here, this place that has no ending to it, right?
right.
No, you have a life, right, that moves past this plane, that transitions to a whole nother plane, right? Don't ever get it misconstrued, right? I
And
was
yes, and what you do on this plane, what you do in this life
Oh, say it.
will determine whether you elevate to that next level or not.
Yes, it will.
It's going to determine that.
Yes,
What
it
and when
will.
you reach that plane where your ears and eyes and nose and everything else start speaking against you,
You're
or
gonna
will
tell it
it
to shut up. You're gonna tell it to shut up. Be quiet, man. Don't say that, man. That was a secret. Only you and I knew that. Nobody was out there. It was late at night when I did that. Nobody was outside. It's like it's infinitely dark out there when it happened. No, they said no. He made me do this. I I, I even froze up on him, and he snapped me back in place, man. You know, like he wouldn't follow my instructions, right? And I'm gonna tell you something, man. It doesn't matter how great you think you are. You don't want to get to that level where your
no
own being is testifying against the harms that you have
that
done
you did
within
in this life
in this life. You don't
on
want to
this
be that
plane?
individual. You can try to act like you tough Tony. You can act like you invincible for all these different people. But when you get to your essence, you're gonna know that you're not as infinite as you thought you were. You're gonna know that you're not as invincible as you thought you were. I always go back to King David because people always talk about King David, man. I always go back to King David. He was afraid when it was time for him to transition because he remembered the things that he did when he was alive.
Mm,
He remembered those things. He remembered adultery. He remembered those senseless murders and stuff
wow,
that he actually
wow,
took part of. He
wow,
remembered those things.
wow.
But he had also great things that was attached to him. You know what I'm saying? That allowed him to move past that belittling reality into a greater infinity for life.
Nathaniel, let's bring it down. Let's take time to impart some of this peace, this love, this compassion that we feel for all leaders and where we want all leaders to be, so that their hands and eyes and ears and nose and all won't testify against them,
We'll say good things.
will say good things. So now I want everyone to close their eyes. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and let it out slow. Take a deep breath and let it out slow. Relax your head. Relax your neck. Relax your arms. Move on down your body, relaxing as you go. Relax your legs. Relax your feet, your toes. Take a deep breath and let it out slow. When I count backwards from 5, open your eyes, take a deep breath and let it out slow. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes slowly. Take a deep breath and let it out slow. I'm Jeannie Muhammad, your global happiness expert. Thank you for being here with us this week.
I'm Nathaniel Evans, focused on leadership and redemption. It's a beautiful thing to have y'all here today, and hopefully that this conversation will be helpful to you in your life. And you always reach out to any one of us to continue this conversation or to get greater insight. With that, everybody be well.
Peace and blessings.